Moose, and I'm an addict.
Hey, Moose.
What's up, guys? Kevin, go for it, brother.
What's up, man?
Okay, welcome to the Dank Recovery Podcast. Glad that you guys are here. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time, and I guess the main thing that just makes you stop anytime you're trying to do something new is just the fear of it. So I guess now it's just like, why though? Why do this now? And I've been doing this page for about 10 years. And me and my buddies that all make memes, we just all joke about how every single meme about recovery has already been made. So the next logical step from here, I guess, is a podcast. And then I guess the thing that people mostly ask me about is, like, how did I even end up creating this page in the first place? So a little bit about me. I've been sober since March 12th, 2012. When I was out there using, it was just, I hit this point of pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. I just got to this point in my life where it felt completely hopeless. I was using every day. I wanted to stop. I couldn't stop no matter how bad I wanted to. And it got dark. And at the end for me, I just wasn't taking care of myself. I only had one person left in my life that would have me around, and it was my grandma. And my grandma just, it cost her a lot of money to keep me around. You know, I did a lot of things to hurt her. I spent the majority of my time just trying to stay out of my head as much as possible. I would binge watch TV. I would binge watch the TV show Locked Up. You ever see Locked Up?
Yeah.
It's like life in prison. And I would fantasize about how much better my life would be if I was in prison. It's like this would be the only way I could ever stop getting high is if I was locked in a prison cell 23 hours a day. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking. I probably would end up being like a drug mule or something. They're like forcing me to hide drugs on myself and send me to the hole or so. I don't know. But in my mind, I'm like, actually, I was watching the show. I binge watched every episode. I found this beautiful prison in the Alaskan mountains where like all the inmates had an agreement to get along, and they had like a nice library and they all played sports. And I thought, I need to figure out how I can go to Alaska and what crime I'd have to commit to get sent to that prison. But I couldn't figure out how to get enough dope to make it to Alaska. I didn't have enough gas money to make it to Alaska, so it was just not a realistic method of sobriety. It wasn't going to work out.
And you're probably trying to figure out how you're gonna you're going there anyway.
Yeah,
you figure you might as well do it in Alaska where it's nice.
Yeah,
because you were headed that direction, right? Yeah. Okay, you got to figure out how am I going to survive when I get there, and where do I want to go?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? This is awkward for me starting this podcast, but I forgot to introduce the people that I'm even here with. This is Kevin. Kevin, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Glad you're here.
Introduced.
Keep coming back.
And this is Ashley.
Hey, what's up?
Ashley's my wife.
Hello.
Hey, Ashley.
Glad
you guys are here. It's so much better to have people that you're cool with. You know, I hope we're cool anyway.
Today's a good day.
But yeah, and you know, Kevin's a good friend. They were both in recovery too. And then we got our producer, Braden, back here.
Hello. Hey, Braden.
Hey, Braden, non-alcoholic Braden.
Gotta have one in the room. Gotta have one in the room.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, back to my bottom. Pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. You know, drugs are really expensive, so it was constantly trying to figure out how to get more too. I came up with a plan to sell one of my kidneys on Craigslist. I posted an ad on Craigslist, kidney for sale, $250,000. They removed the post. It turns out it's illegal to sell your kidney on Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Am I dating myself now? I'm in Facebook Marketplace. No, so then I reposted it. Kidney for donation if you donate me $250,000. And they removed that post too. So I had to dig into the terms and conditions of Craigslist. It turns out you cannot even be under the appearance that you're trying to sell any organs or fluids at all. So
you were already evoking change before you even got hit recovery, right?
Yeah. So I decided to go on Facebook to sell my kidney because I wasn't having any luck on Craigslist. And I posted it, and everyone just commented, "Haha, Tim, you're so funny," you know. And I'm sitting there like probably crying with like a frown on my face. And I'm like, yeah, haha, pretended I'm joking, but like, no, I'm dead serious. I'm trying to sell my kidney. Like, comment, and share. Somebody needs a kidney, and you know, I'm here. I got 2. I only need 1, you know. And what's funny about that, like actually trying to sell it on Facebook, is that every year it reminds me in my Facebook memories of the time. Like, I don't delete them.
I remember this.
Yeah. I love to see the old memories of when I'm using. And there's one that pops up too. It's like, it's lonely at the top. I posted that when I was using. It's lonely at the top. I was sitting there literally by myself at absolute rock bottom, you know, like scraping a 1-hitter or something, you know. I'm like, who was I trying to convince that I was?
And how would you know at that point?
Yeah. Man, just thinking about that too. It's like just the delusion. Like, I lived in constant fear of running into people that I used to go to school with. I would always be driving my grandma's 88 Corsica around when she would let me. And I remember being at like a gas station here and seeing one of my friends walking out, and he's like walking out to his truck, and there's like a boat behind it. And I'm like, I'm not saying hi to this dude. I'm like trying to hide, run out to the car real quick. And he's like, Tim Cavanaugh, is that you? I don't know if I wanted to out my name. Well, anyway, is that you? And I said, oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going? He's like, dude, it's good. I just graduated from college. Just bought a house, me and the old lady. That's my truck over there with the boat. What about you, man? I'm like, dude, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. Like, I got to play it off in some way. And he's like, oh, same old Tim. Went and jumped in his truck, and I like waited for him to leave so I could get in the beat up old Corsica and take off. But
I don't even have like a mental reference for like what a Corsica looks like.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they mostly went away with the cash for clunkers.
Oh, okay.
No, there's none of those on the street anymore. Yeah. But anyway, just living in constant embarrassment and shame and just humiliation. And every night while I would be high, I would think, today's got to be the last day. This has got to be it. I cannot live like this anymore. And I would wake up and just get high like almost immediately, like as if the night before didn't exist. In fact, I started writing myself these letters every day. I'd write myself a letter that said, if you can't get sober, like it was like me writing to myself the next morning, read this when you wake up. It was like right next to me. So I'd wake up and I would say, if you can't stop using today, you should kill yourself. And so that's like my morning meditation. That's like my pep talk for the day, you know, to encourage myself to stop. It was like I couldn't, you know. And at the end for me, it's kind of graphic, but it's, man, I spent every last penny I had, spent all day trying to get the money together, spent all day finding a ride, finally get home, and like, I literally don't have even a single vein left. There's nothing left. And I end up missing the shot. I'm sitting there covered in my own blood. Trigger warning, I guess, right? But covered in my own blood. And I just slammed both fists on the table and just screamed at the top of my lungs. And I just thought, dude, I just slumped in my chair, and it's like, that was like the moment of defeat for me. It's like, dude, I'm 28 years old. I have nothing. I have no friends. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. And I remembered like second grade, they told me I was a genius. And I thought about that right then. I'm like, you're a genius. Look at you. You just mutilated yourself. You have nothing in life. This is like, this is the culmination of everything you've been able to accomplish is absolute nothing. And I just, man, tail tucked between my legs. I went that night and I laid down and I just prayed like I never prayed before. God, please help me. I can't live like this another day. And I prayed that over and over till I went to sleep. And I woke up the next day to Bridgeway calling me to tell me they had a bed. It's a state-funded treatment center. I did not have insurance or resources or nothing. And I went in there and just did what they told me to do. I just followed directions. I still thought I knew everything, but I was willing to try things differently. And that was like the moment where everything started to turn around, but not right away. Like my first day sober, I celebrate March 12th, 2012, but it was one of the absolute worst days of my life. Sitting on the edge I didn't sleep that night. I was dope sick. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, feeling sorry for myself. And I remember, the tech walks in and turns the lights on. Time to get up. I'm like, dude, I haven't slept at all. I went and threw up in the toilet that day or right after that. And I was just ready to try things differently. That day I went to get out a group. There's just groups all day. I tried to get out a group by taking a Hep C test. And they told me that I had hepatitis C. I was like, I don't have Hep C. I just want to get out of group. Like, you have Hep C. It was actually kind of messed up because the guy's like, we're going to give you an HIV and a Hep C test. And I said, okay.
Like you're better than that?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. That'll take longer. Get out of more group. And so they take a drop of blood and put on the test. And he comes back with the AIDS test or HIV test. And he says, okay, this is the HIV test. I said, okay. He's like, look at the HIV test. And now I'm starting to freak out. He's like, how many lines do you see on the HIV test? I'm like, 2? Tim, your HIV test is negative. And I'm like, wait, hold on. That's the good one. Oh, God. I'm like, oh my God, why'd you do it like that? Like I'm on Maury Povich.
Scaring the hell out of you.
You are not the father. You are not positive for HIV. And I'm like, damn, that was not necessary, bro. Then he's like, okay, your Hep C test. How many lines do you see on the hepatitis C test? I'm like, 1. Your hepatitis C test is positive. Now, like my addict brain is still like thinking negative means bad, positive means good. I'm like, okay, I think this was good. No, that's the bad one. I have Hep C. He's like, yes, you have hepatitis C.
Yeah, a positive test. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's bad.
Not good.
I got good news and I got bad news.
The good news is no HIV. There's really good news. Your vision test passed too. You saw all the lines on the test. But then I'm like, dude, I said, what does that mean? Like, what's the recourse for Hep C? He's like, I don't know really. He's like, you could live a full life, another 10 or 15 years. I was like, what? Like, he's completely wrong. Like, you can live the rest of your life with Hep C. But like, that's what he told me, 10 to 15 years. I'm like, it's over. This is it. This is the rest of my life. But like, that's day 1 sober. Don't sleep, throw up, find out you have Hep C, almost find out you have AIDS, but you don't, So anyway, kind of fast forwarding, man, like life in recovery, you guys know it's beautiful when you're doing what you're supposed to do. Like that eventually when you're working a program, the desire to use goes away. I don't think about it anymore. It's gone. But there's still life on life's terms, and life still shows up and punches you in the gut regardless of how good you're doing, And I just remembered one night I was laying in bed and I just thought, man, my life in recovery is like a fairy tale. Like I have my own apartment, I have my own car, and it was like a 2002 Chevy Cavalier, but it's like, man, I'm proud of this thing, It's in my name with insurance. Like, man, my life is so good. I'm laying in bed and my phone rings, and it was my sister calling. I'm like, man, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight. Like, she shouldn't be calling me this late. I hope everything's okay. I answer the phone, and she said, you need to get to the hospital right away. And I said, why? And she said, Ryan's been in an accident. Ryan's my younger brother. We're a year apart. And I thought, is he okay? She said, it's pretty much the worst thing you could imagine. You just need to get here. And I thought, the worst thing I could imagine, like, dude, I'm sober now. I've been sober for 2 years. There's no way my brother dies in this story. That is not the worst thing that I could imagine. That's not even on the table of things that could have happened. I thought maybe he's like broke his back or something, and we'll get him through it. And I drove to the hospital as fast as I could. And I walked in, and there's a priest standing there, and the priest is like, are you Tim? And I thought, oh, crap. Like, the priest isn't there for broken bones. And he led me back to my sister, and she's just bawling. She's like, Ryan didn't make it. And they led me back to see his body. And I mean, he had a blanket over, or a sheet over his head. They said, don't move the sheet. It's really bad, but we couldn't help it. We pulled the sheet down, and his teeth were all busted out. He had like huge lacerations across his head. I mean, he had experienced major head trauma. And I didn't cry and nothing. It was just such a shock. I had never experienced a loss that deep before. Like, I had no mental, spiritual, emotional framework to even begin to process something like that. And I went home, though, and I curled up in a ball and just cried for hours. And I did not want to do anything. I did not want to get out of bed. I don't know why. I could have took off work, and I said, no, I'll be in. I probably need it. And I went in and it was just like, dude, I felt gutted. I'm like, what am I doing here? And I go home, dude. Like, you don't have to do this. So I went home, and I was a shell of myself. I was just existing. And, at that point, I began to work in recovery. I went back to work at that state-funded treatment center. Kevin got me a job there. That was awesome. And that kind of started off, I've been working in recovery the last 12 years now. I've got to work with hundreds of people, thousands maybe. I don't even know. But
yeah, you and that pink button-up shirt you were wearing.
Yeah. Ashley would ride to work with me. What's the quote from that movie?
On Wednesdays we wear pink, like from Mean Girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashley would be like, on Wednesdays we wear pink, so she'd get my pink shirt ready for work. But yeah, so man, just absolute devastation. Like, I started to self-destruct. And what's crazy is they say get in the middle of the boat when you're in recovery. Man, Ashley had a really good thing about the middle of the boat. When I celebrated 13 years, when we were all out to dinner, Bones, guy in recovery that I really looked up to, helped me out a lot when I got sober, gave me his 13-year coin. And then afterward, this new guy who had less than 30 days sober he went and bought me a 13-year coin. And Ashley's like, that's the middle of the boat. Mm. You got people that you're helping. You got people that are helping you. You're surrounded and immersed in this. And when that happened, man, I had people just from all over that were just showing up for me, bringing food, showing up. It was just, but there was like man, I did every wrong thing except get high at that time. Like, I stayed sober through it. There's a saying, your sobriety is only as strong as your worst day. And so I'm grateful that I put in enough time to where I didn't have to use over that. But where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. Memes.
Oh, yeah. Why are we
Memes
here?
enter the picture. I got a year sober. Someone introduced me to memes. Like, you ever seen memes? And I'm like, memes? What are memes? This is, gotta keep in mind, it's like 2013. I'm like, what's a meme? They're like, oh, a meme it's like
a meme. Nobody know how to pronounce it.
There was people that would say meme and meme. This is like so crazy to think, though. It's like, what's that? It's like top text, bottom text. And there's like bad luck Brian and I don't know, all these like little meme things. And I'm like, dude, instantly sucked in. Like, oh my God, this is the funniest thing ever. And I'm thinking like, who gets to make comics for the newspaper. They're like consistently unfunny across the board. Like memes come out, put comics like out of business. Like the newspaper, like that's not even funny. What do you mean?
Or they just miss. You're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Like maybe I just don't get it.
Yeah.
No, enter memes. And I just was obsessed. Anyway, after my brother died, and this is another thing I want to say. Like when I got sober, I thought you have to be like super spiritual all the time. And then like if you can be unspiritual, well, you had to have separate friends for that because those can't be your friends in recovery. You can't joke about dark stuff. I've been introduced to this term gallows humor. It's like people on death row joke about stuff that other people won't joke about. People in the army and war. Most people probably couldn't stomach the things that they're making jokes about. It's the gallows humor. And
Can you imagine?
imagine the jokes that surgeons have with one another or nurses, or cleaning up crap all day long. There are jokes.
Yeah.
Funeral homes have funny jokes.
Yeah.
So it's like, that dark side.
I need to go ask them, like, what do you guys got at the funeral home?
Well, they say it's like, business has been dead lately.
Oh.
It's like, man, someone die in here? What happened?
I think they have meme pages for that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet they do. Funeral director meme page, you think?
I think they're too scared to put it out there, honestly.
They
Would
can't.
you be?
It's all anonymous posting. There's everything's got a meme page. But you know what? Like one of the case managers at Bridgeway said, Tim, this is how we get through our day. We make fun of our clients. And like when I tell normal people that, they're like, that's messed up. But I tell any clinician that and they're like, yep, that's accurate. And it's not like mean spirited. It's just like you just got to get through your day. This is heavy stuff constantly. Mm-hmm. But I'm grieving and someone adds me to this page called YPAW memes. And it's just like all AA people being super unspiritual, joking about things that I thought were like, I think they're funny, but I thought they're kind of like off limits, like in recovery. You got to be super, I don't know, extra spirit. I found out that it's not the case, but.
Yeah, sells kidney to get more heroin. I mean, I totally get it, right?
Yeah. But then that page got like rapidly super unspiritual, like just extremely over the top vulgar. And so the girl who made it started kicking everyone out of the group. And then they started another subgroup that won't be named here for certain reasons, but it was insane. And that was where I was like, I don't know, man. Like it talks about in the program, we will find the fellowship we crave. And like in the darkest time of my life, grieving, it was like I found fellowship with people who were just joking about stuff that, I didn't think you're supposed to joke about. Mm-hmm. And I started making memes, and then I started seeing people steal my memes. And I decided to start my own page posting memes. Ashley was there for the beginning of that. What'd you think about it?
I was really jealous. Just to be honest, I was really sick when we first got together, but like you were always on your phone or always doing that. And I wanted all of the attention.
Yeah, that's true. We made it.
Like I remember when I first got sober and I didn't even know you, I would late at night, like I just wanted to laugh too. So it was something that I was searching out for too. Like I would look up sober memes or whatever. There was a page that was, I don't remember what it was called, but I would go to it regularly to get my memes, my meme fix.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's good.
And there's something about it that like when you see one and they're really dark, it's like, that person's an addict in recovery. Like there's no way they knew things that only an addict would know, the dark nature of that. And then we're able to laugh, not only because, it is funny. Recovery is funny. Addiction there's a humor to it in a way. There's but they would only know these things had they been there, right? They'd had to have been there in order to joke about some of the things they were saying, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
So you made me think, like, what's the definition of meme? Like, I kind of know, but it says that it's an element of culture or system of behavior passed from one individual to another by imitation or other non-genetic means. So like something that's like imprinted from one person, things become a meme. And so like a lot of things, as memes come out, you find out like, oh, wow, that's a relatable thing.
Yeah.
Lots of people like this, like just with the original top text, bottom text memes, like, whoa, I didn't know that other people would think that was funny. Mm-hmm. And then you start to find out because they go viral. And so as I'm starting to make memes about like recovery and stuff that's in recovery, like there were things that like I tested out. I'm like, I wonder if this was an experience I had or an experience that everyone had. And so I made a meme. This was messed up. I don't know. It was like when you're withdrawing from heroin and trying to masturbate yourself to sleep and the tech walks in on you. And I'm like, what if I'm the only one that's ever happened to? Kevin caught me once.
That's terrible. That's so
I don't know if he did or not, but I was like, he at least didn't say anything. So. Anyway,
we thought you were just shaking from the heroin leaving your body.
So I make the meme and I'm like, let's see what happens. Now it's like a normal meme. People can joke about it regularly because it's like it ended up being such an insanely relatable concept. And what's crazy is like when I made it, I was like, I don't know, I'm going out on a limb here. And when I made the page, it was for people in recovery. I'm like, people in recovery like me will like this. But then I started getting messages from people who are like actively using that are like, dude, this is me. I had no idea I thought I was all alone. And like,
I thought I was all alone. And then there's a knock on the door.
Yeah. They walk in on me. But like, just so many things like that. And it's like, or even just the idea of joking about some of it. It became very relatable and the page like went super viral.
But then it like takes away the shame of those things that you're going through,
Yeah. Yeah, because you just feel so isolated and by yourself that you're like, it's just like when someone comes in and gives their talk while you're in treatment, you're like, dude, it's different, but you told my story. Like, you can't make this stuff up. I've lived this. This is real.
Because when you're out using, it's like, I'm the only one that's endured any of this, and like maybe withdrawing or however you get sober. But like, what about the stuff that's like on our fifth step, like or the fourth or whatever, that's like really deep that like you got like, I don't know, I'm not going to say anything, but you know what I mean? Like,
like those memes are real. It's not fake. It's not like you came up with a funny, clever joke. This is a real experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what you hear when you go to a meeting, right? When I remember, like AA, it's the only place you can be 37, get your license, you get a round of applause. It's like, like what? You're 37 and you just got your license? Come on, you're kidding me. But it's like real, right? It really happens.
You post the 88 Corsica on Facebook. Finally got wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, good job.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
How are you, bud?
But yeah, so I didn't realize how relatable some of these experiences were when it started. And it was kind of the first of its kind. And it really blew up. On Facebook, it got to over 700,000 followers. Instagram, it's over 100. Facebook has like censored the crap out of the page. Like, it's weird that like Middle Eastern people can talk about like blowing things up and like their official government pages. But I post a picture that's like, hey, I'm recovering from using heroin. And it like deplatforms the page because the algorithm picks up on the term using heroin and it says that I'm promoting heroin use. I'm like, what? And you can't like do anything about it. So Instagram has been a little cooler about it, but
just you saying that has already deplatformed this podcast before it even goes out.
It's already banned. So anyway, it's been fun though, having the page and watching it grow and watching the things that it's turned into and the people I've been able to meet through the page.
Like literally our whole lives in some way or another have been connected to this page, which is so funny because I was pretty against it at first. Like I had said, I was just like, it's gross to think about, but I just was, and now it's like, well, we know this person because of this page. Now, we have this connection, and it's, I don't know, you're like able to help people because of the page. And I don't know, just like God using all things.
Yeah.
What's
really crazy is someone posted on Facebook, they're having their baby shower. And I start thinking about it. I met a treatment center owner in Florida, and that's why both of them ended up there. One's from St. Louis, one's from New York. But because of the meme page, they ended up in treatment there, and now they're going to have a baby. And I had to comment on the post. I'm like, you're going to have to explain to your child someday why a meme page in St. Louis was the reason that you're having a baby in Florida. It's like connecting dots.
And this is as crazy as it may sound, doesn't the meme page offer some sort of hope? Yeah. Isn't there there's a hope that I could laugh again.
Right.
I don't know. There's something about that, right? True. I mean, it's like you're at the darkest time in your life, but you're still able to find laughter.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's hope.
Yeah, it really is, man. And there's a quote I love. It says, when you're able to laugh in the face of darkness, you become sovereign to this world. Like you have a power over what's happened to you. And so, anyway, man, it's almost been 10 years. In September, it's been 10 years since I created the page. A lot of crazy stuff has happened.
I mean, it's been like our whole relationship.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. One highlight is that I was thinking about is the time Demi Lovato messaged me because of a meme that I made about her. I posted a meme. It was after Demi Lovato overdosed, and I know it sounds really bad, but the meme said, "This should be Demi Lovato's Halloween costume," and it was Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction, like overdosed, like laying there like this, and she messaged me like going off on me. And I thought, how cool is that? Demi Lovato is messaging me on Instagram. I've really come a long way, Yeah,
I mean, you can't do something like that, but then say, but I'm not, there's a line I'm not going to cross. No, you can't open up a floodgate like that and then all of a sudden have some lines you're not going to, it's like, nah, everything goes here. Right. I don't know. Yeah. You told me one time we won't say where, but you had a job offer. You were going to work somewhere. They wanted you to get rid of the page. I said, screw that job. Remember, you called me and I said, man, screw that job.
Yeah.
No way. Because they obviously don't know what recovery's about.
Yeah.
They obviously don't know what it's like to be an addict if they're telling you to get rid of that.
Yeah. That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is for those who know. We're in the know.
Thinking back on it, I was scared they would ask me to delete it. When I actually showed it to them, they loved it. They became big fans of it. And I was like, wow, now I know that I'm blessed in this job.
Yeah.
So that's been crazy. Anyway, so it's just been a kind of a part of my own recovery. It's just allowed me to connect with a lot of people in recovery. I want to read this one message that I just got just 2 days ago. I'm not going to mention this person's name, but he messaged me and said, man, I just love this. Because you work in recovery long enough, or even if you're around recovery long enough, there's a saying, if you're in recovery, you need a blue book and a black suit. We work out of the blue book, but the black suit is we're going to bury people. You're going to meet people that are already on death's doorstep. And sometimes like, what am I doing? Working in this field or even just trying to help people in the program. But this guy messaged me, he said, hey, just wanted to let you know, I picked up 6 years last month and the work you do really matters. I was talking to someone earlier and a lot of the people I got clean with ended up relapsing or died. I've seen that a lot. Sometimes it gets to me, making me wonder if what I'm doing in the program really matters. I guess that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, but it makes me grateful for the people that helped me and believed in me despite the odds, and you're one of those people. And that was a guy that was just looking at memes and was like, dude, I relate to this. I'm going to message this guy for help. And he did. And he went and I didn't even know. I hadn't talked to him in a while. He's like 6 years sober. I'm like, every once in a while you get these little glimpses of hope, you know? So
that's good. Because it's not like at the end of the day, you want to be able to laugh so that you can get through it. But it's like, it's not just about memes. Like, I think that you understand. And I mean, I think we all do. It's like, these are people's lives. Like, these are people's kids. These are souls, you know, and it's important work, and we can laugh, and that's great. But like, at the end of the day, it is a little bit serious, because like, somebody's missing out on their parents because these people decided to use or can't get help or don't know where to get help, you know?
Yeah. And
yeah. And it's like, when you're at your darkest place, you really feel alone. But the humor that's on that page, it's like, obviously there are lots of people who've been there. Obviously, you know, it's like there's a whole slew of people who've been there. And I mean, the guy, obviously, he went there to ask for help. I mean, that shows
desperate.
You right there. The hope he found. Yeah, that's pretty desperate, right? That's the hope he found was on a meme page.
But I mean, like, how humble do you have to be to like anything? I'll grasp at straws, you know, and that flimsy reed.
Yep. And where did he get the help from? From the page.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
He might have asked 17 people, but the one who helped him was the one, you know, had the page, right? So,
yeah. And that's just,
I
get so many messages like that too, where I'm like, man, that is awesome. Like, this is where it started for you, is just looking at memes and being like, man, I need help. This guy seems like he could help me. There's obviously a lot more topics to get into. I'm sure there's somebody that would be listening to this thinking like, what about how you shame all these people who do this, or people that smoke weed and say they're sober? What about that? And it's like, I guess we'll find other opportunities to dig into some of that. But
listen, I think that even that's relatable too, though, because like, when I started going to meetings, I didn't know that nobody said, hey, smoking weed's not sober. I would show up high in a Rasta hoodie and eat all food, and the lights would be so bright, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go sit in my meeting, and thinking that I was doing something right. And like, I mean, I was not sober.
Yeah.
I would go home and I was living in a motel. I had no money, and all of my money was going, well, I was making friends that would give it to me for free. So that's another thing. But, you know, like, I have no money. I have no business doing any of that. It's not like conducive to the life that I want to live. You know, that's back there, and I'm still doing that. And then I felt like that voice inside that's like, you'll be closer to me if you stop doing that. And like, that is a relatable story. It is. It really is. I think I don't know.
No, I think you're right on. Yeah.
That, I would say weed was the hardest thing for me to come to terms with.
Yeah.
But you know,
and it's like, you know, I mean, heroin, you know, at the time, fentanyl today, right? I mean, but you know, you got a million reasons to quit. You know, today might be the last time you use it. But truthfully, marijuana, it's not going to kill you today. So it's very easy to justify one more day, because it's probably not going to kill you today. Just like cigarettes are not going to kill me today. Right. So it's easy to justify one more day. I'll quit tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's harder to quit because there's a lot less reasons like backing me up on the idea of quitting, right? There's a lot of, you know, it's easier to justify continued use, right? So
that's my story.
Yep. And now it's legal, so
I kicked dope 10 different times, and every single time I would just keep smoking weed, and I'd keep ending up back on dope. And when I make fun of it, I mostly say that weed's not sober in memes because, one, it's true. But two, it triggers this reaction from all the potheads. And I just think it's hilarious that there's people who disagree with the premise that you're not sober while you're smoking weed. I'm like, that's not a foreign, like, I've never sat there and smoked a blunt and been like, feels good to be sober.
Yeah, this treatment program's great.
Yeah. Like the goal is to get high. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's okay. You don't have to be sober. You can say I'm living a better life smoking weed. I don't know. It's just, it's a funny idea to me.
What were you talking about?
Yeah. I made a bunch of memes about that too, where it's like, I was just a guy sitting smoking a joint. It's like, feels so good to be sober. Or the movie How High. I changed the cover of the movie to say How Sober. It's stupid. I just like to, mess with people a little bit. But anyway, that's my story. That's how this all came to be. This is the first episode of the podcast. I'm sure it'll get better from here. And whether you're brand new in recovery, you've been sober a while, what we're going to do here is just tell real stories about recovery and just have honest conversations about, what it's like to live life sober, live life on life's terms. So thanks.